Welcome to AEHelp.com's IELTS test preparation videos. I will now give you 10 last-minute tips to save half to a full band on your exam scores. For this lesson, we have partnered again with Skillshare, a world-class platform that lets you choose from hundreds of different skills, all taught by professionals. Whether it's time management, exam strategies, or meditation, Skillshare is a great place to start. Explore your creativity and expand your horizons. Skillshare has been generous enough to give this link and code, also in the video description, for the first 1,000 signups to get their 2 months for free. I have been using Skillshare to improve my photography and videography, and so far, I'm loving it. Download Skillshare today, join, and begin improving for the next time you sit your exam. Now watch and learn. Tip number 1. In the 48 hours before your official IELTS test, make sure to do a timed practice exam. Sit down with a new exam that you've never seen before and complete the listening, the reading, task 1 and task 2 writing all in one go. This means doing the test for 2 hours and 40 minutes and really feeling what it's like to have this time pressure. The brain starts to fatigue over the course of nearly 3 hours. In fact, the brain uses as much as 60% of the metabolic energy produced by the body during an exam situation. You have to be aware of this, and you have to be comfortable with this. Hopefully, you've been doing such practice exams in the weeks and months leading up to your IELTS, but if you haven't, definitely make sure to get at least one timed practice test in 48 hours before the official exam. Tip number 2. Use English as much as possible, if not exclusively, for the 2 days leading up to your test. Tell your friends and family that you have an upcoming IELTS exam, which is not only expensive, but also a life-changing step in your immigration or study plans. Speak to your friends and family in English. Watch English movies, listen to English music. Read books and magazines and articles in English. Stay in English as much as possible. This can easily make the difference of a band score. Actively pay attention to this. Use English as much as possible, especially on the day of your test and especially before walking into your speaking interview. Tip number 3. Practice and use what you know in the days and minutes leading up to your IELTS exam and, of course, during your IELTS exam. Don't try to cram or learn new vocabulary and grammar right before the test. Cramming means excessive studying or burning the midnight oil. This is a bad idea. If you're trying to study 16 hours a day right before your exam, you will likely exhaust your mind and do worse than if you had done nothing in the first place. So use grammar, vocabulary, and expressions that you know and that you're comfortable with. Tip number 4. Prepare for your exam physically as well as mentally. Oftentimes, students ignore the importance of physical preparation. Before your exam, you have to make sure that you're eating as healthy as possible, such as fruits, light carbohydrates like rice, making sure that you have lots of energy for the exam and your digestion feels comfortable and calm. This can really make a big difference. Also, taking a nice long walk or going for a swim the day before your exam can really help you to relax and be less stressed during your test. It will also aid in getting a good night's sleep. Having a good night's sleep is key to performing well on such exams. So make sure to pay attention to your body as much as possible the days before your test. Now, let's talk about what you can do in the minutes and hours right before your exam to get a better score. Tip number 5, show up to your exam early, at least 1 hour before your test starts. Know where you have to go and know how to get there. Start your trip early, so just in case there's bad traffic, you're not stressing. Also, make sure to take your identification with you that you used to register, as well as a reading passage or two and a speaking script that you can go over before the start of your exam. Don't do any heavy studying. Just take a couple of documents to keep your mind going in English. Tip number 6, don't stress. You've studied as much as possible. You've spent hours and hours, weeks and weeks preparing for the exam. Now you need to relax, focus, and do your best. Little bit of nervousness is okay, but being too stressed can really have a bad effect on your performance. Remember, the sun will shine tomorrow. You're there to do your best. There are many other candidates there with you. No examiner will single you out. Focus on your own thoughts and remember your strategies. Again, just do your best. If you're feeling nervous, go to your happy place. Think of happy thoughts, take a few deep breaths, and refocus. As well, don't stress during the exam. If you miss a question in listening, or you can't figure out a question in the reading, don't panic. Just stick to your strategies and keep going forward. The best approach here is to be steady and go step by step. Keep calm, stay focused. And whatever you do, don't change answers. Most of the time, when candidates change answers, they will change correct answers to incorrect answers. So stick with your first choice. Tip number 7. Before you leave for your exam, you should have a short list with you on a piece of paper with about 6 or 7 points that help you remember key pieces of information and strategies for the different sections of the exam. Something like, write your answers for listening with small letters, but change them to capital letters when you transfer to the answer sheet. Or for the speaking section, remember to use the questions in your answers, as well to paraphrase and to give examples. These kinds of notes, put them on a piece of paper, put it in your pocket, and take it with you. Of course, students do get a bit nervous and tend to forget some important strategies when they walk into their test. That's where this paper will come in handy. Right before your exam, pull the piece of paper out of your pocket, read it, remind yourself of what you need to do, and feel confident. Now, let's talk a little more strategy about what you can do during the exam to save yourself some marks. Tip number 8. During the exam, in the writing and speaking section, keep your thoughts simple. Don't get too philosophical. Don't try to argue some really unique ideas. However, be original. This means be yourself and use original language and content. Too oftentimes, students in the writing try to use templates or cookie-cutter sentences and expressions like, This essay will discuss the negatives and positives of. Examiners see these kinds of statements too often and you simply don't get marks. Instead, name the benefits and the advantages. The benefits of riding a bicycle to work are saving health and the environment. So be original. The speaking as well. Use your own words. Examiners hear millions of times the phrases, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about." So don't use these kinds of catchy words and catchy phrases. Be original. Keep it simple. Keep it clear. Be yourself. Tip number 9. Worry about yourself only. A lot of times candidates start to wonder what other candidates are thinking or what the examiners are thinking. Or they stress about their university exams the next day or what they need to buy for groceries. Don't do that. Be present, be in the now. Focus on yourself only. You're there to do a job. You're there to get a high band score. You're not there to figure out what the other candidates or the examiners must be thinking. Focus on strategies, go step by step, and ignore any distractions. If another candidate is tapping their pencil, block it out of your mind. If the examiner seems to be frowning or giving strange looks during the speaking interview, imagine that they're your grandparents, your grandpa, or your grandma smiling at you. Feel comfortable and think only about yourself and your bigger goal. Be in the present. And finally, tip number 10. Focus and go step by step. Don't rush. You have lots of time. Remember, seconds go by slowly if you're thinking clearly and you're staying calm. Stick to strategy and don't jump around. The sit-down part of the IELTS exam is nearly 3 hours. The famous story of the rabbit and the turtle is absolutely true in the case of IELTS. Slow and steady wins the race. Whenever you feel like you're going to panic, come back and think strategy. Now, follow these 10 tips in the 2 days, minutes, and hours, and during your next exam, and I'm sure you can save at least half, if not a full band. Good luck the next time you sit your IELTS test. Watch many more video lessons like this one for all sections of the IELTS exam, as well as 6 original practice tests and a fully interactive course with strategies to get those high band scores. Visit and join our premium package at aehelp.com. Use this discount code also in the video description to get 10% off the premium package. Begin learning for success today. Subscribe to our channel. Click over here. Watch another video. Click right up here. And click our IELTS Hero to join our premium package and get access to all of our videos, practice exams, and a fully interactive course.